relationship success?
I would hope not.
Well, you're 23 and attractive, right?
Yes.
Then there's no real reason you don't have men approaching you.
That's what I said in the last time.
Man, I
Was
don't
it?
know. Like, people say smile, and I smile, but
Okay.
mm.
That's not the problem.
Well, what's going on, Sugar P?
That's not the problem.
She's muted.
Hello.
Hey, I don't know if you were able to hear the first part of the call, but how do you
I
pronounce your name?
heard.
Dacia? Dacia?
Deja.
Deja.
Hi, Deja.
Deja
Hey.
had the position that a lot of sisters probably got upset with CJ
Mm-hmm.
because one, he only graduated from law school. He's not a lawyer yet. One, number two, he really probably should have waited until after he actually got a job as an attorney before he opened his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did state that the things that he said, the only thing he said was, I passed the bar, and that puts me in an elite status among men. Both of those things are true. I also mentioned that everything that he quoted, all the facts, data, and statistics he quoted, are readily available on a website called blackdemographics.com. So I'm a bit at loss for why he did where or what he did wrong.
um, did you want to go ahead? Are you finished, or
Well,
did
I'm
you
gonna
want
go
me
ahead. I'm just bringing you
to?
up to speed to where we are. So
Okay.
maybe you can help fill me in on something here.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's triggering for Black women because one, they might not feel like they have that many options due to the stats, and these are things we talk about our group being more educated, maybe Black men being in jail or something, blah blah blah. These are, I mean, what he said is things we have talked about, and why in terms of dating, the odds are not in our favor. I think it's triggering as well because it's the norm, what Black women are using for the norm in other communities, and in terms of education and things like that, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if Black women dated outside of the race and they didn't limit themselves to Black men, then I think it would be a factor. So based on the statistics, and instead of, we say that men are the catch and women are the prize, but based on
Mm-hmm.
the statistics in the Black community where Black women are going to limit themselves to Black men, then he is the prize.
Mm-hmm.
And
Interesting.
it sets up this weird dynamic where, yeah, Black women are going to have to compete amongst each other when the odds are not in their favor, which I guess isn't necessarily a good thing.
Well,
And
let
I'm
me
sure
ask you
it
this let me ask
hurts.
you this question though. I was at non-black women compete.
Well, no.
Hold on.
Okay.
Take race out of it. White men, Hispanic men, Asian men, Middle Eastern men who become physicians, attorneys, high-paid
They get
individuals.
taken very quick.
Women of their race compete for those men.
Very quick.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was in Wyoming finishing my art diploma. I never finished it. But in my first year, I remember a lady. She was a great pianist. She was from Taiwan. And he met this guy. He was finishing his doctorate degree. The guy, he was not the prettiest. He was not a most appealing, but he was finishing his doctorate degree. And she met him and got married very, very quick. Very quick. She was set for life. The guy was not even that well looking. He used to show you the priorities are very different.
No,
I
I
mean,
agree with you. I don't think it's bad that women compete. Like, non-Black women, I mean, we talked about this before, they go to school
mm-hmm.
and they go find their man. I think it's bad for Black women when they're not necessarily taught that. And so it, because there's this limited pool, and if you limit yourself to that pool compared to, I think, non-Black women that see themselves as women who are attracted to men, so they're going to go for a man who meets their standards. Just like I have no issue with Black men dating outside of their race, because I think men are men and
Uh-huh.
they like women. Me, I don't limit myself to a pool of Black men, and I just like men. So I think that gets to the deeper issue. I mean, if you limit yourself to that, and
Let me ask you
but
this
it's
question.
what he said wasn't wrong.
Let me ask you this question too. Then, if the black women in question did not quote unquote limit themselves to black men, can they act? How many of these women actually can date their non-black men?
I
Okay, I
think there
I
see.
would have
don't.
to
I
be a
mean,
lot of
it's one thing to say.
reconstructing.
It's one thing to say they're limited, but I often question black men. Can you really date anybody else? Do you have the social
Hmm.
skills, and can you deal with the intercultural differences?
Yeah, I
Saying that you're
definitely agree with
limited
that.
because there's only one thing on the menu. um, and if you're a vegetarian and all you can process is if you're a vegan and all you can process is broccoli, and I put 500 items in front of you, you're gonna go to the broccoli. It doesn't matter how many different options there are.
Hmm.
Let me bring this other
I
person in.
I agree with you.
iPhone guest. I want more women to come in. What do you think about what she said, Daisha?
Okay. Um.
You ladies can talk amongst yourselves. I want to hear what you ladies think about this.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to be honest with you. I'm like really nervous because
Okay.
I never like thought I get to like talk to you ever. So it's kind of cool.
Okay. Well, we're
Okay.
good. We're good. You don't have to be nervous. Just
Okay.
regular old folks here. Ain't nobody watching but us chickens.
Chickens and your 53,000 subscribers.
Oh well,
Oh wow, 53,000
is what they
subscribers.
they are what they
Wow.
are. So,
Wow. Very humble, man.
do you want
Wow, it's to show you and just in just any moment in your life, things can change. You need to be right just once.
to get married one day, Daisha?
Only once.
Yes, I would love to.
All right.
That really
And do you
humbles
want to
you, man.
work?
Wow.
Do you want to have to work?
Um, have to. Honestly, part of me really would love to be a housewife one day.
Okay. And
You have to
what part of
become
the
one.
country do you live in?
I live in the South.
All right, you live in the South. So,
Mm.
if you want to be a housewife, that's cool. And you live in the South. You want
Mhm.
children?
I've been thinking hard about that lately. I think I might want one.
One? Oh,
Okay.
One.
don't do one. Do two or none.
Yeah.
But
One
but
is
you want to be
nothing,
able
bro.
to
No, you
live.
can't.
But you want to be able to.
You cannot have one kid. You're doing a disfavor to that kid. He's gonna develop or she's gonna develop single kid syndrome. You don't want to do that. Then he's gonna be very hard to share. It's gonna be jealous. I'm not saying if you have more than 3 kids, that's not gonna happen, but it's less, right? If you have one kid, he's getting all the attention. So when he goes or she goes to the world, he's not getting attention. That can mess him up a little bit. Then he's gonna have hard time to just uh, really dealing with other folks. And not only that, he or she will always seek for attention. Good. That's what he all getting at home. He says 2 or none. I'm saying 3 or none.
Stay not
Simple.
work. Uh, do you like the finer things in life, or what's the
I like
standard of
the.
living do you want? Do you want to live middle class, lower class, upper class? What kind of car do you want to drive?
Oh, I know one day I would love to live upper class as far as cars go.
So that
My
means
dream.
so hold
Oh,
on.
go ahead.
Let me back it down. So basically, that means you want a man who is Henry, high earner, not rich yet or rich. Because if you want to stay at home and not work and drive a nice car and live upper class, that means you're gonna have a man that's making at least $200,000
At least
plus.
Mm.
Who are those men, and what do they do if they're not running a ball, not playing a sport or entertainment?
financial
I
advisors,
see. Doctors,
businessmen,
lawyers, certain business owners,
Right.
some guys who might work in
realtors.
construction, maybe those type of
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Not really construction. They have to own this kind of stuff. So those
Okay.
guys
You have to
are
own something.
rare. How do you plan on getting one?
Uh, good question. I know I have to make sure that I dress the part. Probably,
Uh,
I think that I need to. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, Oh, I said myself, I think I like just on a personal level, I do need to change up the way I dress a little bit. Um, Still more so work on my etiquette, which I have been working on
That's
over the
important.
past few
That
years,
is very
and
important.
leveling my education, just having
Mm-mm.
a higher
Not so
education might help
important.
as well,
Nope.
and being able to
Nope. Education really is not as attractive for a guy. It's just a plus, but it's not attractive. It's not something that really we feel attracted to a female. That means you have to compete with your own female. Not attractive. Etiquette, femininity, right? And behavior and being submissive. You put it all down in a pot. You get a female that is willing to just be under your wing. Now, as a man, you have to be able to just drive this truck to the finish line. There's no excuse for you. So you might, if you're in tune with yourself, she will follow nicely. She might give you a little bit of problem in the beginning, but that's good. That's okay. That means that you're just testing you. You have to be ready for those tests. After you manage those tests, she'll be yours. But you have to win those tests, and those tests are won by you being in tune with your masculinity. And those in tune, you have to really have emotional discipline. Don't be emotional. When arguments are gonna start, just detach yourself from the argument, and then you come and you just settle the rules if they're gonna talk about things, right? Never argue or never have a fight, right? Only control the conversation by having the right emotional state, and you will see how it's just gonna uh, fit it in. And make sure you have all those things right on the beginning. Don't wait until 6 to 12 months because then you're already attached sexually. It's gonna be hard. You have to just get it done at first couple dates. I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Do you don't like it? I'm okay. And she doesn't like it, that's fine. Go with the next one. She say yes, but then entering the word, she give you a little problem. You put things down, and then that person's gonna be submissive. It's gonna happen, but you have to be strong with yourself.
interact with those people
Mm-hmm.
on a
Well,
daily basis.
I would tell you one thing.
Hmm.
Uh, your non-black counterparts are far ahead of most black women in this area. They're already married. 23. Honestly, you should already be married.
I've seen it.
True.
Yeah, the some of the people I know, they're already married.
You
I'm
should
just
be
like, oh my
married.
gosh.
You should be married because the thing is, I want to bring some other women on the panel. Tiffany, how
Mhm.
are you? We can get into this a little bit later. We can talk about Adacia, but 23, you
Mhm.
sound like a nice person, but there's some things that I can see that are probably missing. Not having a one, you say you're virgin. Two, you say dad wasn't around. You don't have a good relationship with him. So
Red
we
flag.
have to go into some other things about how you interact with men and what you think of men. But
Mhm.
Tiffany Bowden, how are you? She's getting on. Sugar Peas in the background. Tiffany, can you hear me? Let me unmute you. Yeah, Tiffany's unmuted.
Very humble to see this
iPhone
from
user,
when he was starting.
iPhone
Wow.
iPhone user guest, whoever that is, you can go ahead and speak.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Can you hear me?
Yes. What's your first name?
Damn.
I don't know why it does that. I need to fix
I can
that. It's
rename it.
Ebony.
Ebony.
You're a female. Don't talk like that. A lot of death. Like no. You have to make sure that that voice is not here, right? Coming out too strong. Okay, it's the energy.
Ebony. Okay,
Yeah.
Ebony, I got you. Go ahead. What am I missing here, Ebony?
Well, I was like, Kevin, please don't kill this young lady.
I'm not.
But however, I wanted to jump in. What I noticed, just to start off, I do have a 20-year-old student that's pre-med. That'll be taking the MCAT next year to be a dermatologist. But what I'm finding out, the young ladies who are really killing it and taking their education very seriously, it's like the roles have reversed. It's like the men have something to prove and they want to tell you, they're king, they're doing this, and I feel it's fantastic. But I just feel like the roles have changed. I think the women are they're making it happen. They're not being boastful about it. But our young men now, they are. So I don't know if it's
Hold on,
because
hold
they
on,
have
hold on,
something to
Ebony. Hold
prove.
on. I
Allowed
got to
to
push
say
back
nothing,
right there.
no meaning.
Okay.
You saying
Saying a
black
lot but no
women
meaning.
are not being boastful?
I think they have calmed down a lot. I guess I can't speak for everyone, but I can
Hold on,
definitely
hold on,
speak.
hold on. What group of women is associated with I'm strong, independent, educated, and
Black female.
don't need no man?
Those are going to be your single women.
Those are going to be black women. They're not.
Black women.
Yes, they're going
No, no, no.
to.
She,
They're
what she's trying to do right now is avoiding responsibility and accountability from what she knows in her heart, the group that need accountability, because she's afraid. Every time that they do this, is afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid what could happen after that. Maybe they have family members, they have moms, a lot of things. So they're afraid. They're always afraid of the aftermath.
there's songs about this. Um, black women,
Oy.
if we're living in the same reality, are by far the most boastful people in this country,
Yeah, very hard to deal with.
and are quick to tell you everything they have. So if you're saying the roles are reversed, I'm thinking young black men are just now catching up.
And that, you know what? And that could be it. That could be it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. You're right. I mean, you come from, normally men, they wouldn't, they make it happen and you won't hear a word. That just wasn't the thing to do, to be like, oh yeah, I'm a doctor, I'm this, I'm that. Men were like, hey, if you got it, you don't need to tell anybody about it. You just represent and do
And
it.
who are these men you're
But
referring
like
to?
you
Who are
said,
these men you're referring to?
when I say the men that I'm referring to,
Mm-hmm.
well, first, let me just put my age out. I'm an 80s baby, so
Okay.
Completely irrelevant.
you will get some men that are really cocky, but normally you only have a small percentage. It's normally like the top 10% that'll be kind of cocky. But
Good point with
majority of
Dennis.
men are not going to throw it directly into your face. But like you said, I do feel like the young men now are catching up.
But what I'm
They want
asking,
you.
when
They
you
want
say,
to.
but
See,
you still didn't answer my question. You
yeah,
said the men don't normally say anything. If they got it, they got it. Who are these men? What color are they? Who are you referring to?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I didn't know you meant per se of color.
Yeah.
I feel like that's across all color lines, whether if you're white, black, if you got it, you got it. Some
So
black
I
men
want to. I
oh, go
got.
ahead.
Hold on. Let me stop you, because what I'm hearing is you saying that typically men don't boast or don't brag, and it's these young guys who are
Right.
boasting. Hold on. But
Yeah.
your president, Donald Trump, is quick to tell you how great and wonderful he is.
Well, he's
Hold on, hold on. I was in corporate.
yeah.
You're an '80s baby. I was born in '69. I've been out in corporate America a long time, and I've seen plenty of my non-black counterparts talk up their accomplishments and achievements.
yeah.
And the funny thing.
If you're confident, you just you own it. Basically, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're confident, you have the receipt. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Is their women also talk up their accomplishment and achievements.
Yeah.
When have you ever witnessed black women in mass or on a larger scale talk up black men's achievements?
Oh, I see. There's a lot to talk about that. Yeah.
I think it's good. It depends
There
on.
you go. Deviation.
Cricket ass quiet. It
Yeah.
don't depend on
Deviation.
nothing you haven't heard of.
No, what I was thinking, because I was getting ready to say it really does depend whether if you're lower, middle, or upper class.
Okay, well then
Because
where? Because if it
so I would definitely say middle class and up. I mean, for me, like I like to praise, and it depends on the woman you are. But I
now
love
here's the
it is
thing. I will grant you anecdotally, you and the women you know, but I said en masse. Where do you see black women praising black men in their accomplishments? Because what black men tend to hear is your deadbeat dads, you're gay or down low, you ain't educated.
That's the feminism stuff. Yeah.
You can just look at our popular media. Look at the movies that come out of the music.
Very
When are
weak.
black men ever getting praised from our black women in mass? Not just you and your friends or people you know.
Right, right.
She's
Well,
afraid. She's afraid.
actually, not. You're right.
Right. And
Not. They're not being
how often do black
praised
how
enough.
often do you hear black mothers praising their
The
non
kids.
football or basketball or rapper sons? How often do you hear
Yeah,
not
and that's a very interesting. Yeah, I think it was Brandon Tatum that said that when one of his cousins came from prison, they celebrated him from coming out and coming out of prison. But some of his cousins, they just graduated and stuff like that. They were very well educated. There was no party, no nothing. That tells you where the priorities are, and that's very wrong. Yeah, I think it's time for guys to step up a little bit and just take responsibility, right? And we need to do what is right. And we don't need approval from nobody. Okay? We need to do what's right, right? I think a lot of people, and I was watching Fresh and Fit, and there's a reason why they just businessmen, but there's a reason why they bring a lot of female because the guys like to click in images. I mean, you cannot battle the world when you have this calm mind in a loser position. You can't.
guys who aren't, athletes, entertainers? How often do you hear black women talking about the accomplishments and achievements of their average everyday boys who are just out here like everybody else?
Not enough.
How often do you
It's
hear
definitely not enough.
black women speaking well about the men who do go into college and going to hold some sort of professional certification degree and praise those kind of guys? But in the black community, they're called what? Corny, goofy, educated lames. You've heard these things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard them.
Name me what corny, goofy, or educated lame is in the non-black community.
But a lot of that, I'll tell
Okay,
you this, Kevin,
that's a
because
negation.
it's a two-way street here. A
Yes,
lot
that's a
of it
negation.
is as society. Even if even if we go on at a commercial level, or even if we're looking at TV, that's not the popular thing to praise a black man because unfortunately the bad outweighs the good
Oh,
in a
whoa,
lot
whoa,
of
No, no.
whoa, whoa,
cases, and
whoa,
it's
whoa, whoa,
sad.
whoa, whoa! I don't care about popular society and popular culture. I'm talking about your black sons.
It's easy to bring it home.
I'm
Well,
talking
I
about
would
black
tell
women
you,
and their black male children. I'm talking about black
right.
women and the very black men that they want to make black babies with. I don't care if the popular, the dominant society praises them. It's when do you praise them? You meaning you and your sisters.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
y'all's job.
Well, it is our job, and I can tell you when you talk about the lame, my son, he's in the band. He's a straight A student. He
I
loves
That made no
understand,
government.
but you
made no
understand I'm not
difference.
just talking
Hmm.
about you and your friends.
Yeah.
And here's the answer.
Which-
The answer is uncomfortable. Black women en masse don't praise black men.
Yes, you'll say it. It's true.
Not enough.
Well, not
Not
enough,
enough. We
not at
don't.
all.
Not enough.
And I
No,
mean negligible. So when you finally get a
not at all. You see the programs like View, hip hop artists, reality shows, stuff like that. They're not praising Barry Carson. They're not praising lawyers, doctors. No, praising the if they if they are praising it, they're praising the worst of their society, which is not good, right? It makes me how sad is that? Even they cannot praise even their own people that had done very good things. Scott Joplin, you know, Aaron Copland. I'm a musician. I know some of them, right? There's a bunch of them. They contribute so much. Uh, just amaze me. Hmm.
black man who actually has the nerve to sit back and just say something that a black woman would say, I'm the prize, I'm a queen. He said he's the prize. Black women call themselves queens
With no
all
king,
the time.
queen with
But
no
Right.
a
I
king.
black
didn't have a problem.
hold on, but a black woman will
And
call
you live
herself
in
a
New York
queen,
City,
and
on the city. You know
you
what
got
he's
women who
talking
just
about.
graduated with a humanities
The
degree or something
billboys.
like that, talking about their education. And a black man who went to an HBCU came out with a law degree and did nothing other than saying, I am one of the elite black men because I have an elite degree. That's all he said.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't have a problem with it at all. I thought like that. I'm not gonna lie to you, Kevin. When I first heard him say, "I'm the prize," I'll be honest with you. I'm not used to hearing black men talk like that, calling themselves a prize.
Why? What's
I
wrong with it?
I would want him. I would
Yeah,
want
what's
him
wrong
to
with
be more
that?
confident to. I shouldn't. I don't want to say what he shouldn't have said. That let me just back that up for a moment because I'm getting ready to contradict
Well, hold
myself.
on.
So I
But
don't want to do
didn't
that.
you say you have a son?
I do.
How
Yes,
old is
Boy.
he?
he is 15 years
So
old.
you don't want him to praise to say he's the prize if he accomplishes something that puts him in rarefied air.
No, I want him to say it. What I said is it was interesting. I've never heard a man say I'm a prize like that.
But what
I
does
was
your
just like
husband
a
say?
prize.
But what does your husband say?
Oh.
My husband don't say prize. My husband just don't talk like that. Like
Okay.
my husband, first of all, my husband is very confident. He'll just let you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure.
I know what he does,
Sure.
and he's
Is
gonna
he
beat his
is he
chest
the
and let
prize?
you
That's
know
the
he's
question.
good
That's the question he has to ask. Okay, sure. That's all good. Is he the prize?
at what he does. So it could just be. I think it was just more of a shocker for
So
women to hear a man
hold
say
on.
he's the
You said your
prize.
husband says he's good at what he does.
Yeah, my husband will let you know I'm the best at what I do.
So that's the same
So or
thing.
There you go.
it's the same thing, but it was just weird to hear a prize. So
Yeah,
I
you
guess
see
that
what
was
you
caught maybe some of the
but here's
women
the
off.
thing, Ebony. What you're used to hearing is black women who aren't prizes, who aren't queens, who aren't anything what they say they are, give themselves all kind of heaps of praise. And what you do is you have a young black man who ran down his stats: heterosexual, attractive, under 30, no baby mama drama, educated, 2 degrees, high earning
Yeah.
potential. uh, any man with those statistics would be considered rarefied air, even your husband. And the fact that he had the nerve to actually just say, "I'm the prize," that one word rubbed you the wrong way.
Hmm.
So I got to ask you, and you sound like a decent woman, a good woman,
Yep.
but if that bothered you, and you're supposed to be on the better side, that doesn't bode too well for black men. What do you think of black
No,
men
well,
in
no, I didn't
general?
bother me. Right, but it didn't bother me. I just said the vote. I just was shocked to hear the prize part that
Okay.
he. I'm just not used to. I guess it's something for women to get used to of a man saying that he's a prize because it didn't take a genius to be like, if I see a young
Just
man, I'm be
admit
like,
it, lady. Just admit it. What's wrong with it? You see a lot of these females saying they want to be the queens. What's the problem with him saying I'm the king? What's the problem? See, but there's a problem to it. That means the guy is showing confidence. Hmm. And she might be acting in fear that if a confident man comes out, that means he might open the gate for a variety of selections. That's why she keep pulling him down. You cannot be confident because confidence is one of the most important traits in a man to attract other females.
honey, that young man right there, that's the man I want my daughter to be with. That's what I would be saying. That young man right there, honey,
Uh,
y'all better take a real good look at him before Becky snatch him up. You better come with it and come correct.
Uh, uh,
But it was
Tiffany,
just shock for me to
hold
hear
on,
the
hold
prize.
on, Tiffany. Hello, Tiffany. Tiffany, go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
okay, so this will be for the next one. Interesting because um there's a huge problem with this. It's just that the community itself is just prioritizing other things, and they're not the only one. I'm talking about the modern world because even the Caucasian and all the things I don't give a crap, but they're having this problem. When females came to the workforce, they inflated the entire market, and with those things came other consequences. Where we had not only the second and the third wave feminism, we had the fourth wave now feminism, which is just transgenderism and all that weird stuff. Okay, and I'm not gonna discuss or debate all these things. I think I'm just looking at the results, and it really amazed me how men has stepped back and just took a seat, not doing anything about it. For that, man himself should be ashamed of himself. We need to take responsibility and do what we need to do is right, and just make sure we fix what we messed up. Just for the price of the cookie, right? For the price of the cookie, which you never got, right? Yeah. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with Kevin Samuels or do you agree with the ladies talking on the phone? I'm gonna really appreciate it.